does the commercial from MCDC with Applebee's that was released yesterday kind of give you a little bit more of a lean toward the Lions? And also, we have an exclusive debut of one of the 6-part series that is going to be released by Applebee's throughout the season. And I'll tell you what, MCDC is batting 1,000 in appearances for Applebee's. Here's the debut of the Applebee's MCDC, episode 1 of a 6-part series.
And there's no point in adding the right talent without the right leadership.
We're more than servers. Feel the energy coursing through your veins.
Which is why Applebee's brought in Coach Dan Campbell to take the coveted role of assistant shift manager.
Now that I'm on this team, we're going to have a different level of production. I move faster than that.
Bringing a level of intensity that is as inspiring as it is feared.
I'm all about friendly competition in the workplace.
Anything else?
Coming from you, Craig. Next month, this is my wall. We're going to be working 7 days a week. But yeah, we're about to turn this thing up.
Okay, so does that make you believe in the Lions more? For me, yes. And that Applebee's is about to be top of the line.
Look, Pat, I put that tape on this week, and you go back and revisit that Ram tape, and that offensive line for Detroit was just kicking butt. They were really good. They could have run the ball if they wanted to at any point in that game. It was a one-point game. It was close, right? But I think, to me, their dominance up front is so impressive. Montgomery is a really good runner. And when Goff has time, when Goff can set his feet and check the runners at first and third and throw the ball, man, is he good. He's really good in that. But when he has to move, like in the San Francisco game where they finally made him move right or left, or in the Ram game when they did. Now, Aaron Donald won't be on the field, which when you watch that tape, Aaron Donald was neutralized in that tape. I think this Lion team has so much going for him, but what worries me a little bit is Campbell is so aggressive. You know, he only tried 2 field goals outside of 50 yards last year. He had the most first down since 2021. He's gone for it on 4th down more than anybody. He's had 10 fake punts more than anybody in the league. He's very aggressive, but he was only 50% on 4th down last year. I think if he takes more of the points when he can, I'm not saying he needs to go into ultra-conservative, but this team is really good. They're hard to stop. They're physical. And I expect them to be better on defense. And with their secondary being improved, I think that certainly makes them a threat to get to the Super Bowl.
That stat about him sending the kicker out for field goals is hilarious, especially because they signed Jake Bates, who literally was only known for kicking long field goals in the UFL. Is he all right? Is he starter for you guys this year?
Yep, he's the starter here in the job.
Okay, so if he's able, his leg is able to stay, and it's very strong, but that's a long time. UFL, into training camp, into a regular NFL, into preseason games, into an NFL season. That's very long. If he's able to hit long balls, MCDC will send his ass out there. I like the fact that he has his identity, but we can't let the identity get in the way of, like, smart ball, you know, and I think MCDC football guy enough to figure it out. Lions fans are expecting to go this year.
Yeah, for the first time ever, I can say that I think the Lions can and will win the Super Bowl this year. This has never happened, and what happened last year was unbelievable. And Lombo, I think one of those kicks, those 50-plus yard kicks, was in the playoff game against the Rams, and they just so happened to win by 1 point. So it's kind of an interesting thing there.
Yeah, MCDC.
Yeah, no question.
MCDC's telling the boys, we're emptying every bullet we have every single week. He goes and says that.
But when you're only 50% converting 4th downs and you have a kicker that's reliable, like if you have Tucker kicking or if you have Buckner kicking, you're turning down points for a 50% conversion. Now, we'll see this year how the kicker does. And maybe he didn't have confidence in his field goal kicking unit, and that's why he did it. But I think with his team, you know, to be able to control the line of scrimmage like he does, you have to go with that. Look, they took a lot, you know, I mean, Chase was a great player and the Bengals took him. But Sewell, to me, changes the game as any offensive lineman can change a game.
Do you remember when they drafted him? They went bananas. And he was like, 14 years old when you guys drafted him, too.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and everybody said, well, why would you take Sewell? You know, you don't need him. You got Decker on the other side. It's like that argument about, well, we're not going to take Michael Jordan because we got Clyde Drexler. Like, seriously, like the great Bob Knight said, play Jordan at center. You know, so they put Sewell, who's a legitimate left tackle, they put him over at right tackle. Now, when you have a great center like Ragnow and you've got 2 great tackles, you can go into any game and feel like, look, we're going to punch you in the mouth and win the game.
And also, sets precedent on what the team's going to be about. This is what this era is about. Remember, MCDC had just got done saying he was going to eat a couple kneecaps on the way up if he has to. That's who we are going to be. We are going to be a gritty, tough team. And then you draft Penei Sewell, and everything he's been, he's like, he hasn't been scared to fight anybody. He will set the tone everywhere. It's like, what a perfect culture builder, too, with your first pick.
And don't forget, St. Brown was in that same draft, too, who just works his ass off. Two culture guys that both got paid this offseason. It's just unbelievable.
So are the Lions the kings of the NFC
Well,
North?
and let's not forget this, too. That Applebee's commercial and that shoot, that's what's going to get us over the hump, all right? What MCDC learned in those commercials, that's going to get us to the Super Bowl, and that's how we're going to get better.
Well, I
Who would
think
have
so,
thought
too.
Applebee's? I mean, who would have thought Applebee's had an influence? We got to talk to Belichick about that and see how much he's going over to
Subway
Applebee's.
was
See
his
if that
thing.
helps.
Yeah, he
It
was.
was. Almost the downfall, actually.
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, if we're keeping score there, if we're keeping score.